This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, hope you are having a great day. Now, today is Sunday, and I'm filming this, and we were supposed to do a playthrough of Dungeon Universalis. I wanted to do an impression video first. Because I've been struggling with this game, and it's made me question a couple of things. Now listen, this isn't a video to trash this game or anything like that, because I think this game has more potential than anything I've seen in a long time. But also, there is a very steep learning curve. There's a lot of moving parts in this, and you know, it just made me kind of wonder, in all its glory. You know, very deep, big box game. A lot goes on in it. There's a lot happening here, and I've been struggling with it. So I had to push the play off until next Saturday because I want to give it a fair shake. Now, one of the things I'm gonna say some things that are very positive about this, but I'm also I'm not gonna sugarcoat things, you know, to try to butter these guys up, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to hurt anybody or you know, put frosting on anything either. I'm giving you my honest assessment so far, okay? And some of the frustration, and yet also some of the excitement that I have going into this, okay? The one thing that I find is that the rule book is kind of tough to follow. It's good, but there's some things that just don't click, or there's a lot of moving parts to it. But what this game tries to do, and what what it tries to accomplish, is really something fantastic. And it reminds me of a throwback to the mid 70s and stuff like that, with the early Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff, you know, Tunnels and Trolls. It's almost like a homage to some of the great role-playing games of the past, and you see their passion in this. The biggest problem is, I think, the translation over to English, and the frustration of trying to just do everything. If you're a solo player, this game is kind of tough because of the management that you have to do between being the dark player and a character. Now, if you go with one character, it's kind of okay to kind of go with, but the minute you start adding two characters and you try controlling two characters, that's where there's so much going on. And it's because this game wants to be so many things, and really does it. I'm having a hard time with it. Now, one of the things that I want to put out there is, I don't want to do a live thing with the designers, but I'm hoping that I can get them offline and spend some time, talk to them, tell them hear how they wanted things to go, and be able to make an English version that you guys can understand. There's a big Kickstarter coming back for this thing, okay? And I would like to see it kind of be very successful for these guys. You know, one of the things that I hope they fixed is, the minute I open the box, there's a stack of cards. And I'm not even talking about the other stack of cards that are this wide that you have to replace cards with. That was very frustrating. And then, not to mention, the smaller cards were something, you know, all the equipment cards and everything like that. You know, some of the translation mistakes and things like that. Listen, bumps, very small bumps in the road, but frustrating if you're somebody that wants to do this, and then you're having to sort cards for 3 hours when you want to be learning this game, because you just look at this game. You know, the other thing is, you know, Dungeon Crusade comes out in a couple of weeks, and one of the things that scratched my head, am I going to be invested in trying to figure this out so much, or am I going to just jump over and forget about this game when Dungeon Crusade comes out? I hope that's not the case. I mean, I paid good money for this, I paid a lot of money for this, and I was excited about this. But everybody I've talked to had the same types of frustration. It's hard to grasp everything. Listen, you know, there are a lot of people that can get rules just like that. Me, it's a little bit of a struggle. I'm not the most perfect guy in the world, you know, and you know, and anybody that says, oh, well, I got it with no problem. Oh, well, good for you. Okay. My point is that for somebody that just picks this up, do they become so frustrated with it that they just put it down? And that's not what I want, because there are some things that you really need to see in this. And we're going to go down to the table, and I want to show off some of the things and then come back and give you even more thoughts of what I think. Let's go down to the table. Now again, you know, we're not here to do any damage, and I just want to kind of show you some things and make you understand where I'm at with some things. You know, first of all, this bestiary, I know there's another one out there. I'd like to get my hands on it, which I'm going to try to do. But, you know, wandering creatures, you know, ambushes, special creatures, you know, being able to roll on all these things. And you can use either these tokens here, okay, which are fine. You know, I think the art on them, the art on this game is absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, I mean, I love this dragon. I mean, if you want to go with this, that's fine. If not, hey, use your own miniatures if you want. Okay, bring in your own dragon. Heck, if I wanted to, I'd just reach up, boom, dragon. There we go. Make it work. You know, it's what you think you want to do with it and how you want to do it. You can go miniatures with this, or you can go, you know, with these. I think these are just fine, to be honest with you. And I think that it's a smart idea. Not everything has to be miniatures. And it's a throwback to the old days. It really is. Okay? When you're using these, this is a throwback to the very old days, and I appreciate that more than you can imagine. And I'm a miniature guy, okay? I do a lot of painting, but sometimes you just want to be able to get something and get going with it. This does a lot of fantastic things, and I like how it works things out, that when you are setting up, okay, that you have, it tells you what it is, medium, large, and so forth and so on for each one of these. Some of the things that get me, though, is that when you have to add equipment to these guys, and that's where I kind of get a little bit lost. The rule book, and we're going to spin it around so you guys can see it, of course. And of course, I do everything upside down. You know, this is where I really have a little bit of trouble. There are a good, I'd say, 45 pages of rules. And I'm really having a little bit of a hard time grasping everything. As you can see, there's so much to this game. These don't come with it. All right, these are just heroes, by the way, too. Which is smart. They didn't make it a thing where you had to go out and buy all miniatures, because it would be impossible, because not everything is in here. Okay? You don't get every token that you think. Okay? Or standees, excuse me. You know, from furniture cards to magic objects to relic cards to skill cards to treasure cards to armor cards. There is so much going on here. There's mercenaries. There's the dark player, which is a whole thing here. And, you know, beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous art. They give you the setup, and you know, it's the two-player, well, you know, having a dark player. Having a dark player, I think this would work a lot easier instead of the solo variant. And I'll tell you why in a bit. But, you know, here, where you're just going, there's just so much from character creation and the effort and the imagination that these creators have is just absolutely fantastic. But like I said, I'm really struggling here, and I want to love this more than you can ever imagine. I have to get this down, and it may just be a block or something, but some of the things that you go through here, it's a little bit hard to understand. The translation's a little difficult, or maybe I'm just not catching it. Movement, you're going to be moving, and then when you go in an exploration arrow, you're going to be adding another section, and I'll show you that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But when you do that, and then you try to deal with some of the obstacles that you can run into, it can be time consuming. And that's one of the things that kind of slows the game down. Like jumping over a pit and falling in a pit and trying to get out of a pit. There's so much going on, from melee attacks, range attacks, casting spells, attribute tests. You're going to have an action and a move. And you think that's pretty simple. But then there are quick actions. Quick actions are things that you can do, different things like opening a door, changing equipment, things like that. You have casting spells and stuff like that. You have mercenaries and pits. So they're putting all this phenomenal stuff, having somebody else help you with an obstacle. All this little stuff that goes on. It's a very deep role-playing experience. And I think because it's so deep, that sometimes it's so different and unconventional from your typical board game RPG that I think some people might be frustrated with that. Again, maybe I'm not getting it. Combat, okay, there's a lot going on. Line of sight, flying characters, range, melee. But when you really think about it, how it works, it's not that hard getting combat down. But you are going to have certain minuses and things like that, and you're going to be rolling 2 dice to get that. We did that in another video when we read that whole section, and I thought that section was really good, and I'm going to get to that. Damage and conditions. And there's a ton of different conditions. You can get knocked down. You can be stunned. There's a lot going on. Poisoned. There's psychology that's involved here. Creatures and their leaders, putting those together. If the dark player, it's easy to kind of do those type of things. Okay, power cards. There's power cards like Fortune here. They're going to do a whole bunch of different things, and I just kind of want to show you some of that very, very shortly. And I want to point out some of the great things about this, but I also want to point out some of the things that I'm really struggling with. This how to play. This was fantastic, but it basically made me understand how combat works. And then when you run into different situations, that's when it kind of gets a little tougher. The background is phenomenal here. I mean, this is a tremendous, glorious background. All right. The campaign system, I started trying to understand some of that. And I'll be honest with you. This is something that is the meat and the heart of this game, this campaign system. The thing that they do here, I think, is glorious. And again, this is a game trying to do so much. The artificial player, this is where I think if you are a solo player, this is where, and I'm a solo player, it can be very, very, very hard. Okay? It can be very hard because there's a lot of little management here that goes on. It does take something that I really liked from Warhammer Quest, is that when the enemies come out, you go every other square like a checkerboard. I really liked that feature. I always thought that was very cool because it does. They're not all just around you the minute you walk into a room. Okay, specific behaviors, how things go. This is where I kind of got confused. Okay, classic dark player explains a lot of things, and there's a lot. This here, I printed out and I laminated, so I understand all the different types of weapons and things like that. What all the markers do. There's a lot of stuff here that you need to. I really think the quick reference stuff. Get that printed out, laminate it so you have it near you. And I tried running off this, and I kind of got stuck a little bit, just calling it. But let's talk about the really good things you know, and I think it might be me. And again, you know, I'm reaching out to these guys. This is actually kind of a cool thing, that when something goes on, when you roll in a room, you're going to be rolling this die. And if you match up that, you're going to be pulling one of the cards. Now, I don't believe that's a power card. Yeah, I believe that's a power card. So you would pull that card as the dark player. So the dark player kind of has a certain value, and they're going to be spending points to bring out all kinds of different guys. You know, you got things like this, deep crack. You're going to have to pay for that, and you're going to be paying for that off that. So if the dark player is going to be playing off things, there's certain things, but every turn he's going to be getting more and more points and things like that. So, you know, he's going to be able to do a lot more, and that is scary unto itself. Of course, you of course are going to be attributing and getting your own points and being able to do a lot more things. There's a lot of gorgeous things in here. This mat. I love the player cards, okay? I love this. Everything's pretty much spelled out for you. Movement 5, okay? Melee, strength, range, armor, you know, all these things, agility, intelligence, you know, very smart and put together. The things that you're going to be starting with, and use the background card. Well, you're going to have a background card. I mean, look at that. I mean, the art's beautiful, like I said, and just easy stuff to just kind of build and, you know, have all your different armors, your backpack, your health, you know, all the things that you do. Perfect card here. And the tiles are absolutely gorgeous. You know, the things that you're going to, you know, run into coming into doors and stuff like that, and there's going to be different traps. There's going to be furniture in there, so you're going to be having different types of furniture that you may run into that can help or harm you depending on what you roll, which is just very interesting. Makes everything in the game, everything in every room interactive, and I think that's ingenious, and yet does a lot. It really does. The campaign book, you know, some of these campaigns are just phenomenal, and for the dark player, and you know, to roll off of. And then of course, you know, I want to show even more. You know, there's just so much going on in here. I mean, there's just tons and tons of events and fights, and you can create your own stuff and things like that. And to help you out, which I'm still trying to figure out here, okay, let's get into it here, right? Okay, is this app. Okay, this app is going to help you in a lot of ways. So, you know, what do you want to do here? Do you want to create a character? Oh, let me see if I can make sure that sees that. You have a chance between Spanish and English. Okay, campaign management, mission maps. You set up your user account, skills, new characters, your saved characters, and you're going to be able to do all these phenomenal things with it. You know, you go over to campaign management. Okay, new campaign. As you can see, I even have a little test thing here. Boom, and then you've got all these icons that you're going to create your own, you know, campaign, and you are going to go around and just, you know, cause bedlam, which, you know, and complete different missions and things like that. There's so much depth here. There's so much going on. I mean, just really a fantastic game. You get a ton of dice, of course, and everything that you can want in one box is there. But again, you know, we're going to go up top and we're going to talk more about this in depth. So let's head on top and get my thoughts on this. Now, as you saw, we kind of just skimmed through a couple things, talked about certain things. You know, character creation, how brilliant is that? You know, just taking a look in the book. You know, wanting the huge campaign. You know, being able to do just about anything, the flexibility. And one of the things that I really just am blown away with is the quality. The quality is very good. Now listen, the one thing that really excited me about this is you do not need miniatures for this. Now, I'm a miniature guy. Yes, they would make it look great and everything like that. But having the standees, being able to just do anything you want and have that freedom, I think that is very beautiful about this game. This is a beautiful game. This game wants to do so much, but does it try to do too much at times? And sometimes I think it does. And I'm hoping that with the new Kickstarter, and I'm going to try to reach out to these guys, and I hope if they see this video, reach out to me, okay? You guys can get a hold of me at novaprime860@hotmail.com. I would like to discuss this. I would like to go offline and maybe have a Zoom conference call and see maybe I'm missing something, okay? Because believe me, I'm not here to hurt anybody or do anything wrong or push people away from this game. I want to make sure that number one, I'm getting this right. Number two, I don't want to go live with this and fumble over it. Number three, what I really want to do is be able to help these guys, because I think what they have here and the passion and all the things that you see is a fantastic game that's under the radar and that people need to check out with their next Kickstarter. Are they going to fix the card issue, replacing all the cards? Are there going to be some better examples? Can I put together, can I help them by putting a good, solid English video for all of you that speak English, okay? Can I help, you know, get the beauty of this across? Also, can some of these things be fixed with some of the clunkiness and some of the things? There's a lot of micromanagement, but you're trying to do a lot of things here, okay? You know, the one thing that I tried doing was jumping over a pit with some guys, just trying to just put it down there and try to figure things out. I mean, that almost took 20 minutes just to get over a pit in a way. You know, falling in, trying to pull people out, things like that. It's that kind of stuff, that over management type of things, that kind of make you scratch your head a little bit and go, geez, you know, I don't know. And then, you know, when you have a main villain and you want to roll it, you know, the dark player, if the dark player is very, very unique in a lot of ways. If a person's playing the dark player, it works better, I think, okay? But if you are doing the AI part of the dark player, you know, I think it gets a little tough. You know, say, you know, I actually saw a video where you put out a witch, okay? And then you have to roll like 15 different times and add all kinds of different by the time you get the person set up, you know, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time trying to get things set up. And it kind of, you take all this excitement and then you come here and then you come back with all this excitement and then come here and then come back with the excitement. And it's those breaks and actions and all the little things that you do that kind of take you out of the element a little bit. I like to see it a little smoother, okay? Could they have done it? You know, I haven't checked on Board Game Geek, to be fair to them. I haven't researched this. What I'm doing is taking this set and putting it in front of me and trying to figure things out. And I think there's a lot of great things here. There are a lot of great things. But, you know, it's going to take me a while to get that down. So I'm going to take another week. And again, this is just my first impressions. I may have a total different feel if it clicks, or if I get a hold of these guys and they're able to make me understand things and I go, oh, I get it now. Because I'll be the first one to come on next week and go, holy cow, stop the presses. But I want to do this before this Kickstarter goes out. I want to do this so I can make some good videos that you guys can see and get involved with. And I want to do this so we get a great impression, and then you be the judge and jury of it, not me. This is only my opinion and doesn't really mean very much, okay? I don't think anybody's opinion means much, okay? I think what something does for one particular person and how it moves them, that's what's important. I think these guys are brilliant. I think they're onto something. I just don't think I'm clicking with it, and I want to make sure I click with it, okay, and give you the right impression. So am I reaching out? I'm even, maybe there's other channels that out there that get it and maybe they can reach out and help me, and I'll be more first one to sit here and promote them to the cows come home, okay, to help make sure that we get this, okay, because you know something, there's something special here. There's something special here, and I really want to make sure that we represent it correctly. So there you go. Boy, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? Until next time. And I didn't even talk about the campaigns and then going out to sea, all the different creatures. I mean, there's so much going on here. All right. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see.